that he's opposing Obama in some way. And by the way, Alex, this is cute. Every bookstore has like 1,000 copies of his book and 20 of mine. My book was cleaned out the first day yesterday. His books are still sitting there in stacks. And yet everywhere you turn, there's Panetta on O'Reilly. There's Panetta at USA Today. Where's Savage? Never heard of him. Who's he?
Well, that's because they don't want real folk heroes or real independent journalists or real independent firebrands to rally the people out of this. So they block. I mean, that's the seal of anybody who's really good, is they block them. Notice Piers Morgan was on Fox for 10 minutes today throwing Obama under the bus. What does that signify that even the red coat worshiper of Obama is now leaving the sinking ship?
What does it tell you that the idiots at Fox would rather have a man who was thrown off television because of poor ratings than someone who can tell the truth about Ebola, ED-68, the decimation of our military, the plans for another civil war to seize our guns? What does it tell you? It's all the government media complex, Alex. We're both voices in the wilderness here. It doesn't mean we're not going to win, by the way.
Oh, yeah, because our audience is, that's another thing. We talk about Fox, average show about 2.5 million listeners. MSNBC now, average show about 300,000. CNN, average show about 300,000. That's joke level. I mean, one of your big affiliates, in like New York City or something's got hundreds of thousands an hour. Some of our big affiliates have 60, 70,000 an hour. Rated, shown, known, instant ratings on their radios. We know. I've got 3 million a day. You got 6, 7, 8 million a day. I get 10, 15 million YouTube views a week. But still, it's like a facade that there's the big mainstream media. They've got all the answers. They're the big man behind the curtain, the wonderful Oz.
Well, we understand the powers that be and what's involved here. We're bucking the system with the salmon swimming upstream to spawn the truth, to use a crude analogy. And let's just hope that when we finally do spawn, we don't die in the tide pool.
Exactly. I don't be eaten by a Kodiak. Now, shift gears back to what you just said, because that's the part of the book I'm getting to. The hot war, the hot civil war, to brand the patriots as the terrorists, to get the shooting war going, to take the guns. Get into that. I mean, I know it's in the book, but break down your real fear of where they may want to take us.
Well, I think you just said it, Alex. Here's the thing. How do you stop them is the question. What is the point of a person reading a book like Stop the Coming Civil War? I keep saying, and you probably disagree with me entirely, the election coming up in November is key to the salvation of the nation. Let me explain.
No, I agree with you.
Okay, because many people say, well, wait a minute. You're saying let the Republicans take back the Senate and what? You're going to have Boehner now in charge? Yes. Let me explain why. Here's my theory. The Democrat Socialist Islamist Party, which is what I call Democrats now, DSI, Democrat Socialist Islamist Party USA, is a closed shop. It's a mafia. You cannot reach them. Nobody can reach Reid or Pelosi or
It's a cult. We have a chance in the Republicans.
Because they're weaker. See, that's my theory. The Republicans are weaker and more frightful. And once they are given the power again by we the people, they're going to have hell to pay if they don't do what we want with regard to borders, language, and culture. Sealing the borders, rebuilding the military, recreating national security, getting rid of the devils that were put into every agency in the country. And we're going to lobby them through town hall meetings. And we're going to reach them, Alex, because they're reachable. They're going to be reachable. We're going to make them reachable. That's my theory, Alex.
Well, certainly once the Democrats aren't in control of the Justice Department, they can't be blackmailing or harassing people anymore. So we can give the libertarian movement, the constitutional movement, a chance, which is why you see Democrats and Republicans at the top organized together against the real Tea Party. Not that it's perfect, but that it's one of our only shots non-violently.
That's right. It's the only shot we have non-violently. That's correct. That's all we've got is this election in November. So when World Net Daily headlined the article, 30 Days to Save America, I was quite impressed because they actually broke it down. That is what I'm saying in Stop the Coming Civil War. So if people talk to someone in their family, in every family there's a liberal and a conservative and a libertarian, right? Get that one person in the family to swing their vote over to the R side, explain why, and just talk about Ebola, just talk about national security, talk about the purging of the generals. But here's a shocking fact that is on page, I think, you're not going to believe me. Do you know how many people have been killed who are ready to testify on Benghazi?
How many?
15.
Wow.
15. I don't know how I dug this one up. I'm almost afraid to read it on the air. This Marxist, Leninist culture that we're talking about. It's on page 71. Can I read you the paragraph?
Go ahead.
On January 2014, the U.S. Senate Select Committee on Intelligence released its bipartisan report on the Benghazi terrorist attacks. It contained information so shocking I can't believe it hasn't been the focus of an investigation. The report said that as many as 15 people supporting the investigation or otherwise helpful to the United States have been killed in Benghazi since the September 11, 2011 attacks, reference number 30. 15 people who helped us in Benghazi have been killed since then. So how could that be? Are we not to believe that their identities were not leaked into the hands of jihadists overseas because they helped us? Could it not be that the purging of our own seasoned military commanders may go well beyond what happened in Benghazi? Now, I believe that there's still a contingent in the U.S. military that wants to see President Obama ousted. You believe that too, don't you?
Yes.
Well, he's continuing his purge of the U.S. military. And I want to ask something, Alex, of your listeners.
Hold it there. This is a key question. We're going to come back in the final segment with Michael Savage straight ahead. I know he's a busy guy. If he wants to do 10 or 15 more minutes with us, he's welcome. He's probably got to go. Final 6-minute segment with Michael Savage. MichaelSavage.com. Infowars.com is my site. I'm Alex Jones.
This hour brought to you by InfidelBodyArmor.com. When it hits the fan, don't be left without the body armor that will save your life. With prices starting at just $374.99 and ships free. Get yours at InfidelBodyArmor.com. Just won't quit.
Hi, Ted Anderson with Midas Resources. Is it time to convert paper 401ks and IRAs to solid gold and silver yet? Get our 10 Reasons book free. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
Hey, Boomer! I learned in school today that 60% of our bodies are made of water. Good thing we have the Berkey system. It's the cleanest, best water ever. Mom says it's because the Berkey's filtration system cleans out the bad stuff and leaves only pure, delicious water. I know, right? You love it too. Yeah, I'm thirsty too. Let's go get some. Get Berkey Clean Water by calling 877-886-3653. That's 877-886-3653. Or visit GoBerkey.com.
DNA Force.
When cells become toxic, they die early and aging sets in.
DNA Force.
No one has put together a formula that focuses directly on brain health, nerve growth factors, and optimizing your cellular energy at the same time. Just one of the key compounds, BioPQQ, is backed by major clinical studies.
DNA Force.
We now have the synergistic solution. Secure your DNA Force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139.
DNA Force.
Tell folks how you got introduced to Super Male, and then when Super Female came out, tell us what happened.
After I saw such a huge positive change in my husband, I had to try it for myself.
Talk about the effects.
I feel great when I wake up in the morning. I have drive to go to the gym. I feel like I look better. I feel better. I feel sexier. I love it.
Even if you don't believe in supplements, take the challenge. Get a bottle of Super Male, a bottle of Super Female. Check it out for yourself. Consult your physician. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today. This is life-changing.
We all have our own idea about what being safe and secure means. The door's locked, bills are paid, you've got a job that keeps the lights on, and a home to call your own. But what happens when Mother Nature throws a curveball?
I'm telling you, tape cover.
Are you prepared to live without electricity or passable roads for weeks at a time? Do you even have a plan B? If you do, are you willing to bet your life on it?
Children left with no homes.
And no one's coming to help them.
The first step towards self-reliance in the face of disaster is a visit to MyPatriotSupply.com. There you'll find the absolute best prices on storable foods, non-GMO seeds, emergency water filtration devices, and so much more. All orders over $49 qualify for free shipping in the lower 48 states. Call 866-229-0927. That's 866-229-0927. And speak to one of our preparedness advisors today. Or visit us at MyPatriotSupply.com. Remember, before it's time to survive, it's time to prepare.
Final segment with Michael Savage. Open phones and a ton of breaking news in the third hour coming up before we end this transmission. We'll be back tonight, 7 o'clock Central, InfoWars Nightly News. Front page of Infowars.com, Ebola with the Obama symbol, the rising sun of tyranny. And it says anti-gun, anti-sovereignty, anti-liberty. Tyranny is a disease. So that's a great way to basically equate Obama with the disease Ebola to help wake up the people of this country and the rest of the world. Also, don't forget, you can learn what the system doesn't want you to know about immunity through real nascent iodine from the crystal form. and also with DNA Force from InfoWarsLife.com. I'm not going to belabor it, but the stuff in DNA Force is literally the equivalent of like just one serving, 500 cartons of blueberries. The CoQ10, the PPQ, all the stuff that's in it's patented, and it's the next level of vitamin C. It's beyond that. InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139. Michael Savage, we got 5 minutes left. Thank you for the time. You've got the floor. You said you have a question for the military.
Yes, I have a question for the military. Do any of the leaders in the military understand what he's done to this country? Do they understand what Bagel has done to the military? Do they understand that there's no real war against ISIS? How many times have we seen that clown who looks like an usher come out from the Defense Department and tell us that today we destroyed 2 trucks? So let's say it cost us $35 million and these incredible pilots to blow up 2 Toyota trucks with 3 ragheads in it. Why are they not blowing up any of the M1A Sherman, the Abrams tanks that were stolen from the Iraqi military when those cowards in the Iraqi military threw down their weapons and abandoned their bases? They took our Abrams tanks, remember ISIS did? Have you yet seen one Abrams tank blown up? No. Why? Because this entire war against ISIS is a sham. It's a pretext for invading Syria, taking down Assad, and leading to the wholesale slaughter of Christians and other Alawites in Syria. We're about to see another Holocaust occur. Why is this allowed to go on? How can the West permit this? Because there is no West anymore. There is no West. The leadership has been compromised, taken over. I'm actually begging those in the military who know what's going on to speak out long before they're retired and suddenly grow a pair of you-know-what. I love all these retired generals who are sudden, regular guests on Fox and CNN, telling us all of the bad things that happened when they were generals. The trick is to speak out while you are a general, not after you're, retired. This is it. We have no time left. We're not surviving 2 more years of Ebola. It's impossible. And I say that from a statistical point of view. Look at what he's done in these 6 years. Now follow the arc to 8 years. It's metastasizing. It's geometrically progressing.
He's accelerating.
It is. It's not going to be just 2 more years of this mild socialist, Leninist, slow movement. It's going to escalate and ratchet up. He wants it. He wants an insurrection. He wants a pretext. He wants his Kristallnacht. He wants to take the guns. He wants to arrest people. He wants to detain people for their own safety. He wants to do all the things that we've feared at our worst. And I'm terrified that he might use Ebola as a pretext. Rather than being impeached for this, for bringing it in, letting it come in, he's liable to use it to gain even more power. That's my worst fear, Alex. It's why I wrote Stop the Coming Civil War.
He's been signing executive orders for open martial law. Can he get away with it, though, if they let Ebola spread and then use that to grab power?
Sure he can. Who's going to stop him? John Boehner? The New York Times? That's what I'm worried about.
It is the yes men attitude that's allowing this evil to take over.
I don't know. I think the West is paralyzed, drugged. I think it's just drugged to death. I look around, I see drugs everywhere I see. I look at the Congress, they look like robotic.
You're right. MichaelSavage.com, Stop the Coming Civil War. The book's selling out everywhere. Thank you so much for the time. Michael and I and many others are just trying to wake people up. Michael, thanks for your time.
Thanks, Alex.
We'll be back, folks. Third hour, your phone calls, a lot more.
This is GCN.
800-259-9231. Stay with us.
General, what do you think about the FBI saying that there's a terror alert on Monday about a potential Fort Hood situation?
The police are shoving people, shoving Alex, shoving the crowd.
Here we go, folks. I'm being assaulted.
Whether it's the radio show, the news websites, documentary films, or the nightly news, InfoWars is the tip of the spear.
Is this another false flag stage attack to take our civil liberties and put more homeland security while sticking their hands down on the pants on the streets?
It's up to us to set brush fires in the minds of men and women everywhere. And that's what PrisonPlanet.tv is designed to do.
You watch the
Assad regime is going to be blamed or accused of using chemical weapons against the so-called rebels.
What we see now is a war against reality. It's a war against the truth.
It's more vital than ever that supporters of freedom become members of PrisonPlanet.tv and share their membership with up to 11 friends and family. Visit InfoWarsNews.com today. Become a member, share your membership, and help take the InfoWar to the next level.